And now, through the magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future, Transformers Slag Podcast.
What's up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday? It is a Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday Night live stream main event. I'm your host, Proto Man. This is the face that runs this place. This is the voice you hear Monday to Friday, and it is Saturday tonight. We're going to hang out, talk Transformers, take some super chats from the fans, the green names, the beautiful YouTube members, and their questions too. Cover the new, recap the news a little bit that we had this week in more of a short form. If you want to get the more in-depth long form, go check out the individual segments on the podcast. It's Black Friday weekend, so while I don't really do the Black Friday thing too much, I do go out and support my local comic book stores that do Black Friday stuff. So I went to my local comic book store, picked up a whole bunch of cool stuff, which I'll share today. Maybe some cool stuff outside of Transformers even. And we'll just take some super chats and chill. But first, we actually have a super chat right away off the bat from Princeton Phalanx 59. Thank you, Princeton Phalanx 59, for the super chat. I listened to an interview with Beast Wars' Richard Newman on the Raziel Kane YouTube channel today. It was very good. How long was it? It was a good, funny story. I had to be Richard Newman's liaison for TFCon. I want to say 2018. I don't know if Larry's in the chat. He would remember, because Larry, you were watching over Bob Bugansky at the time. We were next to each other. But I was with Richard. Richard is a really, really cool and down-to-earth dude. Like, you want to talk about someone that, like, I don't want to name names, but there's some voice actors that are all about the money. And he's a guy that's just like, people would come for autographs. If they didn't have the money, he'd still do it. Like, he was such a really cool dude. I'm not saying don't give him money. That wouldn't be fair to him. But it really showed how he just loved meeting the fans and the craft of it. And he was a really funny guy. And, it's just, he's Canadian, I'm Canadian. We were I think it was Chicago or Washington. It was one of the TFCon USA shows. We were just like looking at flyers and pamphlets and just talking, Canada, so to speak. But yeah, he's an awesome dude. Thank you for the super chat, Princeton. I'll definitely go check that out when I get a moment. Pretty sure it's really good. Richard's a really cool dude. He did a lot of voice acting for a lot of stuff that is outside of Beast Wars that I really like. He did a lot of the Deke bubble. So the King Arthurs and the Knights of Justice, a lot of the, like if you watch the Street Fighter cartoon that was done by Ruby Spears, he did Bison in that. He did the Mega Man cartoon, the Double Dragon cartoon. So he did a lot of cool stuff. Love Richard Newman. Love all the stuff he does. And his Rhinox is awesome. But so yeah, so we'll get started with the news tape. First off, let's see, Tom McNeil, Rodimus Powers here, Cringe McCringle, Transformatics, Eyes on the Ace, haven't seen you in a while. Robotimus is here, Mike Rosen, who else we got? Black Crow, Ashnud, Ibrahim, Sharif, Princeton Phalanx 59, also Orlando Chavez, people popping in slowly. Thank you for joining tonight. I hope to entertain you for the next 2 hours or so in the Robots in Disguise. So let's jump into it, shall we? Let's jump into it. We got to cover some stuff. The first one is we got pretty much our first in-hand look properly, some nice photos of Deathsaurus and next to the Star Saber. And it's important to get the in-hand images because, and Evan, who posted this on his Instagram from Hasbro Design, he pointed out how like a lot was changed in the painting and in plastic colors that were used for the final product. So now we get to really see, those copperish golds, as he called it, that were used on the knees, the way the chrome was done differently, just a whole bunch of things. just to show that final product and how it scales and what to look forward to when this shows up in our PO boxes or our regular boxes or NA boxes in the next couple of days. Go check out that individual segment. I want to say I did it about a week ago where I really break down what's going on there. You know, the box and the box and the box, how they're really protecting the Death Source this time. They don't want the same mistakes that they did with the Star Saber in terms of shipping damage and everything. What's up, Aaron? I see you retracting your post there, but I see you, Aaron. um, but yeah, just really good stuff. Really good stuff. Really looking forward to it. But what was also cool is we finally got to see in-hand images of the Micromasters. So this is sadly, unfortunately, all we have of in-hand images of the Micromasters. There he is. Where's my Hiss tank? Is that also shipping out soon, the Hiss tank from Hasbro Pulse? I don't know. You know what? I'll be honest with you. Like, I know that BMAX said everyone has to get their addresses straight and everything by the end of the month, but I mean, you still got to you kind of have to ride it out. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of have to ride it out because who knows how long it's going to take. You know. And but yeah, let's hope everything shows up quickly. I know that. I mean, I know that when again, I might not be the best example because I was shipped a sample, and usually the samples they get maybe shipped out like a week after everyone else, so that's why I always get mine a little later. The only one I didn't get a little later was the Unicron. That one I actually bought outright before Hasbro just started sending stuff. So the Victory Saber I got a week afterwards from when they started shipping it out, and I want to say it was like 3 weeks to a month. So again, don't quote me on it, but maybe we'll see it in the next 3 weeks showing up in people's hands. Maybe at the end of like let's say before I mean BMAX said before Christmas, so that sounds kind of right when you think about it. Third week of December, and then I'll probably get it just before New Year's if Canadian postal services don't go on vacation. So we'll see. We will see, but I am excited about it. But meet these Micromasters. That's what I'm more excited about. I was a Micromaster kid growing up, and we finally get to complete our emergency team. We finally get Boater. We finally get Peepo done in their anime accurate colors. Unfortunately, these are the best in-hand images we have because they didn't really do a crazy extensive photo shoot. Evan, if you're in the chat, bro, take some really nice photos of the Micromasters in both modes and post it on your Insta, man. Like, I want to see these up close and personal. They look really, really good. And then we'll finally have a complete set of our Micromasters in some shape or form. Because, I mean, I was turning my head here. I'm looking at the Siege ones. I mean, did we get any complete 4 sets? We would always get like half, and then maybe like you'd get like one third or 1/4, excuse me, of the others, maybe through like a box set. I don't think we had any other complete sets. I mean, obviously don't count the combiners, but the Micromaster combiners. But I'm hyped about this. Again, huge Micromaster fan. When I was first building this room, like this whole room, no joke, at one point I was honestly considering, and you have to understand, when I was building this room, like animated was still on television. Just to kind of give you an idea of how long ago was it when I built this room. So I didn't realize the scope of how crazy things would go in terms of merchandise. I bought this in late 2008, 2009, this house. And I was thinking of building, no joke, like a little, little table and a Micromaster city. And it's just as time progressed, I realized, oh, these movie toys are getting a little crazy. Oh, the product is getting crazy. I was not going to have the space to waste, unfortunately, on a big Micromaster display. But there was hope at one point. Would have been really cool. Complete Decepticon Sports Car Patrol. Did we? Did we? Aren't we missing? What's his name? The purple Le Mans. Yeah, that one's not complete. I don't think so. Is it? Hold on. Yeah, let me check. I have to look over. You're making me get up. Let's take a look. Ah, Micromasters. Wish I could bring you guys with, but I'm not messing with the camera, unfortunately. Let's see. Micromaster Sports Car Patrol. We didn't get an update of Detour. No, we didn't. Yeah, no, there's no yellow detours. Nah, we didn't get those complete. We didn't get those complete. The seconds came with it came with the six. The Mask 6-pack didn't come with Detour. No, it didn't. Did it? No, I love that Mask 6-pack. Where's that one? Centurion drones. No, I don't think so. And the yellow combiner repaints. I know that maybe some of the combiner teams, maybe we got some. I don't know. Oh, wait, the it's true runner. No, maybe you're right. I have to look into that. But either way, it's like I know that we got three of the four in a lot of cases, but I don't remember many completely all four getting done. Outside of, again, like I know we had a multi-pack that goes for pretty good money in the secondary market today, but still pretty hype, very hype about these guys. Can't wait to see them. Definitely when I get Deathsaurus, there's going to be a photo shoot of Deathsaurus stuff on my Insta, and then there's going to be a photo shoot of the Micromaster buddies with their upgrades. All those years. The closest we have to a Micromaster city today is, you can barely see it, but Zone Base with all the Micromasters there. Actually, you can see the original Peepo and everybody over there. I have Micromaster Hot Rod living in that city. Love them. Can't wait. Super excited. Very hyped. Next thing up, we got some sexiness. It's the title of today. It's the stupid sexy Thundercracker. We have the in-hand images also of the Kotobukiya Bishoujo collection Thundercracker. This was something we knew was going to be coming, and now we finally have the in-hand images of it. I mean, look, this speaks to a very specific audience of people that like to collect these sexy anime figures. People have to understand, Kissplay. Kissplay was like literally created because Takara was kind of going like, what do Transformer collectors, and when they compiled this information, this was like around the time of Superlink Energon, and they were just kind of like going, what do Transformer collectors collect outside of Transformers? And they were talking about the adult collectors who were buying Vinyl Tech, which was alternators in Japan. And it's just something where they were like, well, they seem to buy sexy anime girl figures. And that's kind of why Kissplay happened. It was just looking at the demographics. And in all honesty, Kissplay lasted as long as it did. It actually made some money. So the reality and of course the Vinyltech Asterix line that came before it, which was kind of like prototype Kissplay in a lot of ways. Um, but it's I think it's cool. Again, different strokes for different folks. There's different kinds of Transformer product everywhere. There's rescue bot stuff for preschoolers. There's more of that mid-range kind of stuff that exists for, like, Transformer fans that are not like simple preschooler kids, but maybe don't have the money and or the investment for, let's say, more complicated stuff. Then you have adult collectors for like the masterpieces, and maybe even when you fall into third party, there's a whole bunch of different stuff. And then when you get into, what if they like building stuff, and that's where the modulators come in and the customization of building things. When you get into even when you get into stuff like even customization on a broader sense of people who like to buy the model kits. And if there's dudes who really like sexy anime girl figures. And it's something where if you have a favorite character and you want to own a sexy anime girl of it, Kotobukiya has your back. And I'll tell you something, despite what anyone says, these are selling ridiculously well for Kotobukiya. When they did the My Little Pony one, oh my goodness. I think they have like 17 different releases up to this point, and store exclusives and convention exclusives. So I always say it doesn't matter what people think. If they keep making it, actions speak louder than words. They could say if something's a failure, they could say if something's a success, but what really tells me is if it keeps going. And this has been going strong. And I believe they polled the audience at an anime convention not too long ago, asking who would you like to see next. I think Jazz was yelled out, and Soundwave and Shockwave. So we will see what goes down with it. But I mean, look, I think it's cool. Personally, I like variety as a Transformer collector. Do I have any of these? I'm not going to be spending $120 to $150 on a PVC statue. If they do a Hot Rod one, maybe. If they do some of the female Transformer characters into these, maybe. Maybe if they do an RC or a Minerva, might be kind of cool. I don't know about an Optimus. I mean, look, I think they're cool, But do I think they're $150 cool and I could put my money into it? I'd put that $150 into other stuff. But I appreciate the effort. Tom McNeil, didn't someone dress up like that at TFCon Toronto? Yes, two different people did. One person did the Optimus, another person did the Megatron, and also there's this girl on Twitter named TF underscore Marvel, I think her name is, and she's literally cosplayed every release thus far. She did the Optimus, she did the Megatron, she did the Shattered Glass Optimus, she did the Bumblebee, and now she's working on all the Seekers. She's some Japanese girl that like hangs out with Sakamoto-san at his booth. I forget her name. I think it's TF Marvel or something on Instagram on Twitter. So like, look, there's clearly an interest. Even female fans are digging it. The cosplayers are digging it. Look, the cosplayers love it because it kind of represents what they do. So I think it's cool. Like I said, you might not like it, but that's fine. If there's one thing I've learned about the Transformer fandom is no one is ever in 100% agreement of anything. Some people think animated is the greatest Transformer series of all time. Some people think animated is absolutely dog poop. Some people think G1 is the greatest thing of Transformers all time. Some people think G1 is kind of dated and boring. So there's something for everyone in this hobby, and I appreciate it and I dig it. The one thing I do want to say though, so this thing is selling for 18,700 yen, which translates to about almost, I would say, almost getting on $130 USD. I know a lot of different online retailers in the West are asking like 175 to 180. Don't pay that. I don't want to name names because, they're not sponsors, so I'm not giving them the free advertisement, but there's a lot of good Japanese import websites that you can get these fairly cheap, where you're not kind of getting screwed over for like a finder's fee and anything. So we will see. We will see what happens. This is going to be shipping out next year, June 2024. So get ready and we'll see who's next. Obviously, we're going to probably see the in-hand Skywarp probably in the next couple of months. And after that, we will see. We will see. We will see. And speaking of other teasers, this was a weird one today. Let's talk about that Stracxis that kind of popped up in our face out of nowhere. So I did a quite extensive individual segment about this. Go check that out. But supposedly we were going to get a Stracxis at some point, possibly a leader class toy. That was a amalgam of all kinds of madness, and it was going to be part of Legacy. And we were also going to be getting what do you call it? We also were going to be getting a Netflix series, but that obviously Netflix passed on it. And once again, like I said, actions speak louder than words. Netflix was bragging about how good the reception was for the Transformer stuff until it wasn't, and then they said, we don't want the Netflix stuff, Transformer Netflix stuff. So that's why we didn't get a Legacy, but it's pretty cool. Go check out the individual segment. We kind of break down what's going on here, why this happened, where it was coming from. FJ DeSanto, who was the showrunner and one of the writers for the trilogy of the War for Cybertron stuff on Netflix, he kind of addressed what's going on here. This is real images, everything like that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Lizard Sphere X says, "Is that a Petro Rabbit skull on his shoulder?" I don't know. Like, some people were saying, is this, a sign of what would have been maybe a fossilizer? I do have to say the image on the left and the image on the right are reversed. So if you look at the image on the right, the incident one, the one that's an amalgam of things, look at one of his legs that has like the pointy edges on it, especially on the shin and the knee. It's obviously on the other leg in the other image, so it's kind of reversed. So I don't know how the orientation's supposed to be, what was originally intended. Maybe this image is backwards, maybe the other image is backwards. But it's pretty cool. I dig it. I like the little homage to Marvel, Straxus with the little head in the chest and the little bottle. Really cool. Cringe McCringle, Lori Faso has been revealed by Cullen to be at TFCon LA. Well, I'll say this right now. TFCon LA is going to have tons of guests. So you're probably going to get an announcement every like 4 days or something for the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned on that one. That's all I'm going to say. Lori Faso, for people who aren't know, was Orion Pax. Very cool dude. Very nice guy. To meet him twice. Very cool dude. But yeah, Prince of Founding 9, there's so many different takes for everyone. What one person doesn't like doesn't mean it's bad. People have different tastes till all are one. No, totally. I've always felt that, like And being a Beast Wars fan when Beast Wars came out, like I grew up on G1, I grew up on G2, I grew up on GoBot toys, I grew up on McChangeables, and then when Beast Wars came out, I liked it. But when I went on the internet, we're talking like, and here's Old Man Proto Man, Old Man Proto Man back in like 97, 96, going on the internet. And you should read the message boards back then on the ATT, the Alt Toys, Transformers, and Benson Yee's old forum. Everyone was like saying, oh, Beast Wars is the worst thing ever. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it ruins Transformers, Truck Not Monkey. It's always like that. It's been like that since the beginning of time. I did a tweet a while back. There was a guy on the very earliest versions of the internet, like the first early BBS boards of the internet back in 1984. No joke. And he was saying how the G1 Transformer comic was absolutely terrible. And I made a joke. I said, here's the guy right here. He's the first guy that said this incarnation of Transformers is the worst ever. And it was G1 back in 84. So, it is what it is. You can never make everyone happy. You can only, the most important thing is make yourself happy. Like I love a whole bunch of cartoons that I know for a fact if people watch them, they think, Proto Man, what the hell is wrong with you? I love King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. I love Mummies Alive. I love Big Bad Beetleborgs. I love a lot of weird 90s stuff. And, Mighty Max, Botsmaster, Cowboys of Moo Mesa, Biker Mice from Mars, Street Sharks. What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting Bucky O'Hare. Actually, Bucky O'Hare is amazing. But, but some people might think they're crappy, made to sell toys 90s cartoons. Hey, that's cool, man. As long as I love it, I'll hang it on my shelf proudly. You know, hang it on my shelf proudly. I'm missing some super chats. Sorry, guys. One moment. Everything's flying fast when I go on rants. T-Formers 2000 Proto. I had to look it up again to double check. It was the Race Track Patrol. There we go. That's why, because I was like, Race Car Patrol had Detour in it, and they never made a new Detour, because I like the Detour toy. He was very hot rod in shape, so when I was a kid, I used to mess with it a lot. Roller Force and Roadhog. I like Roadhog. And Runner was Barricade with the name change. There we go. There we go. That's why I was confused. Patrol names get me all mixed up. Bro, I get mixed up too. When you got to remember hundreds of Micromasters, it's okay to mix it up. Not to mention with the trademark changes too. So, yeah, no, it's cool. Joseph Ritter with the super chat. What's up, Joseph, for the $5 super chat? How come shows like Voltron, Thundercats get full-fledged out reboots and Transformers get junky Netflix extensions? Well, to be fair, Joseph, they did get those full-fledged reboot, but what happened to Voltron and what happened to Thundercats in the toy aisle, which is the most important thing? Voltron, man, those toys couldn't go on clearance any faster. And Thundercats, that show wasn't even able to finish one season, and the toys all went on clearance. So at the end of the day, I always say shows might be crap, but those shows really exist to move product, especially when it's Transformers. And yeah, hey, they got full-fledged shows. They had a lot of effort put into them. I actually liked the Thundercats show, to be honest. I think it was pretty cool. But I've always felt that Thundercats, I know you put Thunder Rats there, but I know what you mean. um, I've always felt that Thundercats was one of those things that it was always stuck in the 80s. Thundercats was more of an emblem than it was a show that a lot of people loved and remembered. Yeah, there is Thundercats fans, don't get me wrong. I liked the Thundercats show as a kid. I thought it was like furry He-Man, but it was still kind of cool. But it was more remembered for its intro, for its emblem. It has more of that iconic kind of look to it, but it never really had a huge fandom. And the reboot was fantastic. It was very well done, but no one showed up. No one really watched the show. No one really bought the toys. No one played the video game, and there was a video game, and it was pretty good. And that was it. And at the end of the day, if you don't do those things, that's a fail, my friend. That's a fail. And in the case of Ultron, the fans cannibalizing themselves. I'm not even going to get into that one. Fans be fans sometimes. But thank you for the super chat, Joseph. Wizards for X, Mighty Max. Keep it right here every time. Keep it right here. Doom Zone Danger. Love Mighty Max. But anything Bluebird does is amazing. I even go out of my way. I don't have it here. I go sometimes when I find in the wild when I do toy hunting. If I find even like the Disney ones that Bluebird did, Bluebird's the company that did the Mighty Max toys. You can barely see their logo there. If they do the Disney ones, I pick those up. Like they're just so cool. I love micro play sets. Love them. That's why I like the Micromasters. That's why I like Micro Machines. Um, let's see. Tucker says, "Hell, your name swapped sideways and sideswipe a few times. Your name. I guess they're having another conversation." Thundercats was a great reboot. Sad it failed. Yeah, because no one showed up. Look, there's a lot of great shows I love that no one watched except me. Son of Zorn is the one I always bring up. I loved Son of Zorn. I thought it was an amazing show. And then I ended up finding out I was the only person that watched that show, and I loved it. I literally bought a Funko Pop, not a Funko Pop, the Savage, what's it called? Savage Land, Savage Universe, Savage World. They did a Savage World Son of Zorn figure from Funko. I actually bought it because I was like, I love this show, you know? And it didn't do well, unfortunately. Such a shame because I loved it. It was so good. R.I.P. Thundercats. Yeah, it was a great show. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Furry He-Man. Yeah, bro, that's what, as a kid, I didn't call it furry back then, but as a kid, that's how I looked at it. Because here's He-Man. Me and my sister used to watch He-Man and She-Ra, and it was put the sword above your head. I have the power, abs, muscles, BDSM kind of outfits. Then you look at Lion-O, and it's the same thing. Lion-O, small, sword, jacked, then he uses the sword, the eye of omens. It's literally furry He-Man, you know? And that's not trying to be negative or call shade. That's just what it is. And I liked it. I'm not saying I'm a furry, but I liked it. Someone's gonna quote me. Proto Man's a furry. But yeah, Thunder Rats for Thundercats. Seriously, eh? Tucker, anyone else remember those Play School GoBots commercials and toys from the 2000? Hey, the GoBots. I love those guys. That one right here. Go. This one always reminded me of Barricade. Not Barricade, Lockdown. Go bots. Transformers, go bots. Look at that. That's so Lockdown. Look at that. And you twist and turn. What's that? Is that a level 5? Love those guys. Love them. Love them, love them, love them. Did we cover all the other news? I think we covered all the news more or less. I think we covered because it was a pretty quiet week otherwise. Um, we'll do some we will do some sponsorship stuff because I do have to talk about some sponsorship stuff that I wasn't able to properly do last week. So I'm going to cover that because there's some sales stuff. I also want to talk about what we got this week today from the craziness of the stores. We'll show that off. And we're going to talk about Black Friday. If you got any cool stuff from Black Friday, super chat that. We'll talk about the cool stuff that we got this Black Friday, all the sales, all the deals you found. Super chat them and we will talk them. But first, again, we got to respect the sponsors because they keep the lights on for the pod. Let's talk about Symbiote Studios. We got to talk about that beautiful Slag plush. We got to talk about the coming Ultra Magnus that we're going to be getting next year. A lot of great stuff. Symbiote Studios. I have to update this photo actually because stuff is selling out. Stuff is selling out, guys, because Symbiote Studios has a Black Friday sale today. Get in there, go on symbiotestudios.com, use promo code HOLIDAY23. This one's on you from Proto Man. 50% off your Transformer products at Symbiote Studios. You didn't get somebody, go get them. And I heavily suggest you go because some of these guys in this image right here are sold out. I literally, before going live, I went to go check the inventory and I was like, uh-oh, some guys are selling out. So heavily, guys, I suggest if you have not gotten a Symbiote Studios plush or t-shirt or anything like that, I'm rocking the Catnip Bravo today. That's what I'm rocking. So I heavily suggest you go pick them up because at 50% off, you'd be crazy not to. And them boys are big. Oh, God, you can barely see them. There you go. There's the whole crew just kind of chilling. All of them over there. But yeah, symbiotestudios.com. Check it out, yo. And again, all the others too. You can get the G.I. Joe stuff, the My Little Ponies, the Power Rangers. Again, I can't confirm what is sold out or not sold out on these. Stuff is on sale. Go pick them up. symbiotestudios.com. And thank you, Symbiote Studios, for sponsoring all the cool shit we do here. Oh, yeah. And of course, And Deceits. got to rock out your Anda Seats. Anda Seats, we're going to be finishing our contract with Anda Seats very soon. So enjoy it while you can. Try to get your Anda Seats on sale right now at andaseat.com. Pretty cool stuff. Get your Transformer seat. And thank you, Anda Seats, for sending me this beautiful Transformer chair and being a sponsor of the podcast over the past year or so. Thank you again for all the awesomeness. And use that promo code and get in there and get a nice discount, guys. Protoman is your promo code. Give it 15% off on your first order. And it is a stackable promo code. So if they have anything that's on sale, yeah, check it out. And last but not least, let's talk about. Oh, I got so many stuff open here. So many things. There we go. Let's talk about the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. We got our latest segment that we busted out. Let's talk about the creation of Masterpiece. Go check out the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, the other channel that I get my feet wet with Hasbro's own Aaron Archer. We talk about Kenner. We talk about Hasbro. We talk about Aliens. We talk about Batman. We talk about all the toys of your childhood. But today we're talking about Masterpiece, how it was created from the man who was behind it himself. Not speculation, not fans going, maybe it was like this, maybe it's like that. No, this is from the lips of the man who actually masterminded the whole Masterpiece line. So no bullshit, the real deal right here. So go check that out, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Go subscribe to that channel. Go hit the bell notification. Go watch the segments. Go like it. Go do all of that. Check it out. And of course, also, if you haven't, Aaron also has his latest book out, his art book, The Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 2 Color Edition. It's available on his website, archermonster.com/shop. It's on the bottom right there. You can check it out. A lot of cool stuff to pick up, as well as brand new art. Aaron, do you have new art for us that's going to be going up this week? Do we have? I knew you were doodling a whole bunch of good stuff. A lot of good stuff there. So we'll definitely want you guys to go check that out. Go pick up a nice, beautiful, brand new, original, painted for you, 1-for-1, painted instruction sheet of your favorite characters. Check it out, The Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. And of course, archermonster.com/shop. And that's it for sponsorship. So, what did we get? So, let's talk first Black Friday. I'll get to if there's any super chat ones, I'll get to you guys in a moment. I went once again to multiple different places. Just kind of want to support my local comic book store stuff. Some stuff I got also because I met up with my sister today, and she hooked me up with little things here and there. That she went to Dollarama here in Canada and picked up this Char's Zaku from Gundam for $5 Canadian, which is about like $3 American. Very hyped about this. Char is one of my favorite characters from Gundam, and I was like, man, $3 for a Char figure, the Zaku, Char Zaku, no question. Had to get him. So thank you to my sister for picking that up for me. She also picked up for me, because the holidays are coming, some beautiful Christmas lights of Transformers, video game stuff, vintage Super Mario, vintage Pac-Man. So some nice little Christmas lights to hang around the house of my video game love, my second love, that of video games. That's where the Proto Man name comes from. It comes from Mega Man. So my sister hooked me up with that. But then we went to my favorite comic book store in Montreal, Comic Hunter, and they were having a beautiful Black Friday sale. Everything in the store was 10% off, no tax, which, by the way, when you say no tax in Canada, that's a big deal because we pay a lot in taxes. So when something is no tax, man, you're saving 13% right there. Then you add another 10% on that, so that's 23% off anything you're buying. And he had a whole bunch of stuff in his store for sale. So I was like, you know what? 23% off, a lot of cool stuff in his store. I'm going to pick up all that stuff. So what did Proto Man get? Well, let's go with the big boy. The first big thing I got was, I'm a huge fan of Super Shredder from Ninja Turtles. Oh man, that glare is not doing it justice. So I never ever had the NECA one. It went on sale like crazy in the States, but NECA never really had good distribution in Canada. Always wanted to get the Super Shredder. Finally got it now. Super Shredder, no joke, literally sits on top of my desk up here. Like, I'll just show you guys quickly. I have a little display of a whole bunch of rando figures. So you got Slash there, you got Batman, Bret Hart, Proto Man, and then you can barely see Super Shredder's behind Batman there. So I love the Super Shredder design ever since I was a kid, and I saw that first Super Shredder figure back in, I think it was like grade 2. Shows how old I am again. Um, Always loved that design. Always thought it was so cool, even though it was like barely 2 minutes of the movie, Return of the Secret of the Ooze. So super hyped about this. Very happy about picking that one up. This thing, I think I paid after the deal and everything. I paid like $25 Canadian, which with exchange is like $18 American for like a huge figure. So super happy about that one. Super happy about that. Everyone's like, damn, 13% taxes. Welcome to Canada. Free healthcare, baby. And I'm a guy who's never had to go to the hospital ever, so I never got to enjoy it. Never got to enjoy that free healthcare. I lived too much of a healthy life, unfortunately. It'll pay off maybe, later, but by then, I don't know. David Cabal on a he's David Cabal is on a Sonic kick. What is your favorite Sonic game? I love Sonic 2. Always had a nostalgia for that one. Just because I have memories of, because I never owned a Sega Genesis, but I used to borrow it from my neighbor Deepesh, who had a Sega Genesis. What we would do is he'd lend me a Sega Genesis, I'd lend him my Super Nintendo, and then we'd like rent games on top of what he already had. And he bought his Sega that had Sonic 2 and Altered Beasts, and always liked playing Sonic 2 because if you play as Tails, like you could play Sonic 2 and someone could be player 2. It's not really player 2, but someone could play as Tails, and Tails is invincible. So my sister would play as Tails, and she could play along with me, and there'd be no consequences because Tails could get like killed 100 times. Always had a nostalgia for Sonic 2. Sonic 3 is really good also. Um, and I kind of like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. I know it has their flaws, but those are kind of good too for GameCube. And it has great music. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on GameCube has top tier music. Top tier music. Uh where are we at here? As someone who works in healthcare, thank you. I don't know what you're thanking me for. Thank your paycheck, my friend. I ordered Legacy, Shockwave, and Orion packs, Heroic 2-pack, and the Villain Minor Megatron. That's a good purchase, that one. It's a really good one. Everyone's going to post their stuff here. Team Chaotix, my favorite. That's a good one, too. Chaotic, was it called Team Chaotix? I thought it was called Sonic Chaotix. Sharif Latif, man. I was playing my Sonic Krong modded PSP. Oh, playing Sonic on your modded PSP Vita. Yo, that's where it's at. I have a modded PSP that plays everything. I don't know anyone that uses a PSP for actually playing PSP games, which is hilarious. Although it has Mega Man on it. It has Mega Man powered up, which is really good. Paul with the gold super chat. I have more stuff to show you guys, but I'll cover your stuff first. I don't want to leave out my fans here. Paul with the gold super chat. Always thought till all are one was literal. All G1 Transformers would combine into a super bot or weapon. Primus would wake up and they would battle Unicron. What is your interpretation? Oh, bro, to me, I always felt the deep religious connotation of it, which is when Primus created Cybertron and he gave birth to the Cybertronians and he created the Matrix. I always felt that the idea was he wanted the Cybertronians to live, have a beautiful life, have knowledge, have wisdom, have relationships, have all of this. And when they pass away, their spark rejoins the Matrix, rejoins the Allspark, comes back. And that building of the strength of the Matrix. That's the whole thing about the Matrix being empty when it was used on Unicron the first time, and filling it up again with the knowledge of the ages. The Till All Are One is always about coming into life and then returning back to the afterlife, which is the Matrix, and becoming one with Primus, and then using that against Unicron and why it was so effective. Because Unicron was a force of evil, where Primus was a force of love. It was a force of imagine between the separation of the two, meaning Primus and Unicron creating their own different entities, and then Primus essentially creating the Matrix. And then by the time Unicron showed up, we're talking what, 5 million years, 6 million years? We don't even know what that number could be. I mean, because that happened all at the beginning of the Big Bang, which could be even more. So when you're talking all of that time, and all the Transformers that were born, that gained knowledge, that grew, their spark grew as a being, and then passed away and joined the Matrix. It made the Matrix stronger. And so I've always liked that kind of connection, and likened it to that whole till all are one. The other side of it is the more simpler one, when both sides stop fighting to fight a common good. Autobots and Decepticons work together to stop Unicron. That's the more common one. That's what happened at the end of the 86 movie. Both Autobots and Decepticons were working together to take out Unicron. That's what happened in Armada. At the end of Armada, there's that famous scene where Optimus and Megatron shake hands and all the Autobots work together to fight Unicron and that. The Till All Are One always had a different connotation when it relates to Unicron in a deeper sense. But I've also, in its simplistic way is, hey, let's work together to stop the common good. So thanking the Canadian taxpayers. Thank you, Tom. Well, if you have to pay your taxes, that's how it is. Even though they don't really take care of my roads here, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, Paul. I hope that kind of explains it a little bit. That's always how I've interpreted it. That's always how there's the two levels to it. But I've always felt that, even when you look at Simon Furman's, like, the tail end run, I wish I could pull it out from here, but the tail end run of the Marvel books, it's kind of the same thing. Autobots and Decepticons were working together to take out Unicron. So, but yeah, it is what it is. Wish the movies had that much death. Well, hey, Hollywood, if you want me to, you know what? I even feel if I wrote those movies, I feel that it would have to go through so many drafts that the message would be missing, unfortunately. I'd have to handle it from a more business standpoint. Toys have to be sold, and in order it to be sold in as a live action movie, it has to have the human characters, which take up most of the center stage. It is what it is. It's, there's only so much story you could tell in 2 hours, where you could tell a really good story in 13 episodes, which are not, 2 hours. 13 episodes, even if you're being literal, they're 21 minutes each. You still got a good, like, at least 12 hours of content to tell a story in segmentations, but it is what it is. Proto, what do you hope to see for the next live action movie? Well, what they rumored was that G.I. Joe crossover one going into space. That's the rumored one from what's his name there? Tom DeSanto. He said it's G.I. Joe and they're going into space. I don't know. That, to me, G.I. Joe, and I love G.I. Joe, but it's them going, oh, they're going into space? Oh no, that means there's going to be no humans, and we have to always make it about the humans. Because God forbid we make it about the title of the movie, and that's what people are buying the tickets for. So, look, I liked Rise of the Beast, but once again, the title had beasts in it, and I didn't get a lot of beasts. So, and I liked the movie. As a movie, it was fine. As a Transformer movie, it was okay. But I don't want to go too deep into it. And it's sad that it's still probably one of the better of the movies, Although people have their own opinions. Some people really like Dark of the Moon. Or some people even really like Revenge of the Fallen, as crazy as that sounds. Eyes on the Ace, I think Transformers would have done like DC's animated universe. Well, DC animated universe, the reason why that does so well is because that's WB. And WB before they even had like the movies that we have today that are direct to DVD and stuff, man, they created something amazing back then with Batman the Animated Series and Justice League. Like, just that bubble alone. Yeah, I'm glossing over Superman and Static Shock and a few others, but just those two alone was amazing world building and storytelling for 90s and early 2000 television. I would love to get something like that for Transformers. We kind of did with animated, but then the success of the movies kind of put the bullet in that, unfortunately. Anyways, what else did we get? Thank you for the super chats, by the way, guys. Good super chats, good questions. We also got, let me show some cool 90s toys we got here. So because stuff was on crazy sale, I was just buying stuff for the sake of buying stuff. So I was figuring I was going to get the rookie cards of action figures. I have these figures loose in my collection, had them for years, but I never had them like sealed carded. So I got Toy Biz Wolverine, the very first version, and you could tell it's the very first version because of which because you'll see this figure on the same card back, but it'll have a different card back here where it'll have more figures. This is the original first run, and it has the Wolverine exclusive rookie card trading card, as we call it. So got that one. It's not the very first Wolverine figure. The very first Wolverine figure was actually the Secret Wars one with the black claws, but this is the second one that was ever made of Wolverine. And then you have, I had to get this one too. This is technically the first rookie card Wolverine of the classic yellow costume. Again, I own this loose. I had it since I was a kid, never owned it 100% carded. So now I bought it again with the back there. Really cool. Wanted to pick that one up. Getting some of those. These were, by the way, I think this one was like $20. No joke. $20 Canadian. So it's like 15 American. And I think this one was 15 Canadian. And again, 20 was the sticker that was on the back. I also had that 23 technically percent off if you think about it. So yeah, they were really cheap. Couldn't say no. And this is definitely her first one. Black Cat. Got Black Cat's very first action figure from the Spider-Man cartoon back in the day. Like that one. I like it comes with a pin. It's pretty cool. Nice little chrome pin. I want to track down if I could get Silver Sable carded one day, the old Silver Sable figure. I think that was also under Spider-Man. That was under the Aqua Wars one, I think, or something. So that was pretty cool. Picked those ones up. Nice, good finds. Again, I love the Toy Biz and Kenner stuff back in the day. Again, I have a lot of nostalgia for that because that was stuff I grew up with. We got a super chat from VCXZ. I'd love to see the live action Headmasters movie, human pilot, Transectors, G Gundam, or Pacific Rim style. See, that could work. That could work, brother. Totally, that could work. That I could totally see happening. But the problem is would they want to do that? I mean, I think it would work. It would be a Master Force movie. I mean, it would be a Super God Master Force movie, and I'd be down for that. But would they want to do it? That's the thing. Like they're kind of, what we saw with Noah, in the Cybertronian melding and the armor and technically a pretender shell, kinda, but not really. Like it would be cool. It's kind of like also an exosuit. It would be cool to see more of that, but who knows how they're going to want to go with. Because the thing is I could see it being done and it could be done with toys, but do they want to go that direction? Do they want to go that way? I don't know. I think they're worried about, I don't know. They're weird when it comes to actors and likenesses and, like obviously they made sure the Noah figure doesn't look like the actor at all. They put the mask on it. They made sure you can't see the face. You know, his face is nowhere on the box to my knowledge, even of the Studio Series core class. They kind of play it safe with that kind of stuff too. So you don't have to pay people. So it's hard to say. Hard to say. But I dig it. I dig it. I mean, again, Master Force is one of my favorite Transformer series. So if they wanted to do that, I'd kind of be down for it. Uh, where are we at here? I don't want to miss anything. Some eyes saying sad that there was no Rat Trap. Well, you know what I always say, because whenever people go like, "Oh, why didn't it have this character, this character, this character?" Save it for the sequel. You can't give everyone everything, because if you give everyone all the characters, then you have nothing for the sequel. You have to have it that, oh, then Rat Trap and Tigatron show up, and then Tigatron is sad because Air Razor died in Rise of the Beast. Spoiler for someone who hasn't seen the movie already. I apologize, but come on, guys, at this point. um Brave Star. I love Brave Star. I actually have a Brave Star figure upstairs. It's missing the hat though. Lord Arboron. Do you remember Brave Star? He had a talking horse, the horse that stands up and fights. Brave Star, mind of a hawk. Da, na, 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 na. Love Brave Star. That was from the creators of He-Man. That was Filmation did that one. Great. Filmation, you got to give them credit. They never shipped any of their animation overseas. They kept everything in house, which is good or bad depending how you look at it in terms of quality. Tom McNeil, if they, sorry, just got to move the mouse here. If they did where they downloaded the brains into humans, yeah, but so you can't download brains. You can't do that kind of stuff because then you phase out the actors. The thing is there's almost this like contractual agreement. The actors' faces have to be on the screens 90% of the time, and the robots have to be props. You know, I remember, I don't know who it was. Someone pointed it out to me, and it was so clear. They said there was a scene in, I think it was the 2007 movie or Revenge of the Fallen, where there was like a big explosion and all of the humans went flying everywhere. And then as the humans are like getting their composure from the big explosion, you just have like Bumblebee and I think it was Ironhide just in vehicle mode, just sitting there in vehicle mode as if they were movie props with no personality, no humor, no movement. Like that's the one thing that kind of sucks is when the robots are in car mode, they're just movie props. They don't have any personality. They don't move like Herbie the Love Bug. Have the suspension move a little bit to convey like that it's a living being, that there's motion going on. The little things that matter that are, look, if Herbie the Love Bug was able to do that in what, the 1960s with Disney, if they were able to convey that this Volkswagen Beetle with no CG and no special effects were able to do that, I'm pretty sure you could pull that off with everything you got today. T-Formers 2002, they already didn't have enough screen time with 4 Maximals we did get. Imagine adding a 50. Yeah, of course. If Rat Trap was in the movie, he would have gotten like one sentence and then he would have been killed off screen by one of the freezers or something, you know? So next up, what we got until we get some more super chats in. I also picked this up. This is very Canadian, this one. So this is a sealed 1985 Montreal Canadiens action figure of Chris Chelios, who was one of the defensemen for the Montreal Canadiens back in the day before he was traded to the Blackhawks of Chicago. So this was a promotion back in the day with Provigo, which was a supermarket here in Canada, and I have the complete set of these. I never had any of these single like sealed. So here's a nice sealed one. There's the little promo. Mail in and get Patrick Waugh. I actually have the Patrick Waugh too, but I always wanted to own a single little sealed one. This was $10 Canadian, which is like nothing. It was like $8, like $6, $7 American. Love that. Really cool. And then comic books, because it is a comic store. Had to pick these ones up. Got a few. So, number one, had to fill the gaps that are missing in my UK collection of G1. I'm not missing. There's like 300 issues. I'm almost there, almost done. So this is the famous. I call it the Dive Bomb versus Dive Bomb issue, and there's a long story with that because actually I'm not going to spoil it. Go read it. It's a really good book. Simon Furman back in the day, Swoop versus Dive Bomb versus Dive Bomb story. Really good one from the old UK books, and they're magazine size. They're so much larger. Just to show you how much larger. I don't want to spoil the other book I got. There's a normal comic book size. There's the magazine size that the UK books were. So you have to buy special card backs when you collect these. I'm the reason why all these years later I don't have all of them. They are very condition sensitive, and 90% of these that I always find in the market, they always have someone's name written on the top because these were always at newsstand. And when people would reserve them, because I guess, the UK newsstands, they just kind of like, oh, write someone's name. Oh, make sure Timmy gets the book. So I like to buy these without people's names written on them. And you'd be surprised how many times you find them with someone's name written on the top, or like someone's like, PO box sticker on it or something, or postage sticker. So got that one. This one, by the way, this was $10. Picked it up for $10, so about $7 USD. Got a super chat. Cringe McCringle for $5. Watched your video about the remaining 1 to 3 movie studio series. Uh, would you make one covering video game characters? Now there's quite a bit. Well, video game characters, that opens up a floodgate because the DS ones had a whole bunch of different characters. The console ones had a whole bunch of different characters. There was generics in the Nokia cell phone game of the 2007 movie and Revenge of the Fallen. They both had Nokia cell phone games. Before smartphones existed, there was Nokia games. So there's those ones. So that opens up that can of worms. Then if you want to get into the IDW comic book exclusive ones, like, hey, why didn't we get a Bumblebee figure? All the different Bumblebees that we've gotten that have been repainted red into Cliff Jumper. Where's my? This is a bootleg I have. Where's my Cyber Stompin' Cliff Jumper? This is a weird bootleg I found at the dollar store. They took the Cyber Stompin' Bumblebee and they did it in red, and you can see they hollowed it out and everything. This is like the most cheapest MABS plastic on the planet. But I always love that bootleg. But no, that would be that video would be huge. It would take forever if I opened it up to video games and all those others. It'd be crazy, but it'd be cool. I mean, I would like it. Like anyone who played the DS game, you had that like create a figure guy, like create a character. That would have been cool to kind of get him, like create a figure, and it'd be cool. Like you could do the create a character, and he has like interchangeable parts, so you could customize him and make it like a deluxe, not a deluxe, a Voyager class, so they can include those extra pieces. I would love that. That would be really cool. I have a huge nostalgia for the DS game because that was like a really good Transformer game that people slept on. It's literally you create a character that's part of the Autobots or the Decepticons, depending on which version you buy. You create a character and you live within the story of the 2007 movie and help along the way. So it's so cool. It's so cool, and it has great voice acting too, because they got some top tier voice actors for the characters. They got what's his name? Who's Goliath? Oh, what's his name? Keith David. They got Keith David to play Barricade, and he did like a way better job than the Barricade we got in the 2007 movie. He got that deep Goliath kind of voice going on. So really cool. If you're noticing, there's kind of like a shine. Ooh, see all that light on my face there? So the next comic we got, and thank you for the super chat, Cringe McCringle. Next one I got, they did this cool anniversary reissue with foil cover of Day of the Future Past. This is out on shelves right now. This actually came out on Wednesday. So if you go to your local comic book store, this is available right now. They did a non-foil version and a foil version. Day of the Future Past, one of the best Chris Claremont comics ever written. Both issues, both number 141 and 142 of that two-parter. I don't want to spoil what happens in it, even though it's a super old one. Definitely cool. Check that out. That's in stores right now. Go to your comic book store on Wednesdays. And I at first I wasn't going to get it, but I was like, I had to. The first issue of Warrior, of the Ultimate Warrior. Oh my God, the loaded story with this comic book. The Ultimate Warrior uh, changed his name to Warrior in real life so that he could own the rights to his name. Created a comic book of himself with, I believe it was Top Cow, Ultimate. Oh, excuse me. He worked with the people from Top Cow, but it was actually his own comic book company called Ultimate Creations. And this comic book is absolutely bananas. Then he comes back to the WWF. He strong arms Vince McMahon and says he's only going to join the company if he buys, like, I think it was like 10,000 copies of this comic book and gives it away to fans. So, always wanted to own this just because of the whole story of it. If you're a wrestling fan and the banana, batshit insane stories of Ultimate Warrior, the very last issue with Superman, it's not with Superman, with Santa. How do you get those mixed up? With Santa is even more crazy. The Christmas issue. I don't want to spoil, but anyways, had to own this. Absolutely crazy. Also $10. Couldn't say no. Wackiness. I picked up that craziness. But yeah, Cringe McCringle, Protoman, you have no idea how badly I want a 2007 Game Drones. Give us the toy colors and game colors. I'm sure we'll get. I'm sure like those molds at some point will probably happen, and then it's just a matter of like, Distrucity. DW Brown knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm sure it'll happen for sure. T-Formers 2000, the Bayverse games would add more reason to do a Revenge of the Fallen Stratosphere, since it's questionable if he was in the movie. Well, again, I talked about that in my individual segment of the missing stuff. Go check out that segment after we're done here today. But I mean, look, I love an updated Stratosphere, but then you have to ask yourself, are we talking scale or are we talking, you know, let's just make this toy happen? That's always the problem. And if we make them like let's just make this toy happen, I would like it because think about it, right? We have that new core class price point. I don't have any of them near me, unfortunately. But we have that new core class price point. So we have smaller movie figures. If you make a Titan class Stratosphere, at least it could work with that core class. It'll be to scale with it. Because if you want to do a true Studio Series Stratosphere, it would be bigger than Unicron. It'd be bigger than HasLab Unicron. It would have to be like like 5 feet tall, and no retailer on the planet would want to carry that, and no Transformer fan would want to pay that much for Stratosphere. MMA Panda with the gold super chat. Thank you, MMA Panda. I just got that new knockoff Blitzwave Voltron. Do you have any knockoff Masterpiece Transformers? I have third-party Masterpiece Transformers. I don't have bootleg Masterpiece Transformers. I've always pre-ordered and never really like missed a window where it was like, oh man, I can't get it. It's too expensive now. I'll get the bootleg. But I've bought in like third party masterpiece stuff, meaning like there's a really good company. I forget their name, Render Formers or whatever. They did like a masterpiece wheelie that's really good. I have the masterpiece Ravage that was sent to me by uh, by one of my patrons, really cool dude. By Michael Koo. Michael Koo sent me that one for the Ravage, so I have that one. What else of the third party ones? I'm not big on third party in general. I only buy third party when it's something I feel I don't know if they'll do it. But I bought this and that of masterpiece scale stuff, but never bootlegs. Never bootlegs really. But I've heard they're pretty good, the bootlegs. I know that the Optimus Primal bootleg they did of Masterpiece Optimus Primal Beast Wars. Supposedly, the differences between the official and the non-official, it's pretty close. You got to have them side by side to really see the differences. It's little hues of colors at best. So I heard they're really good, but never owned any, unfortunately. I do have though a ton of bootlegs, a ton of bootlegs. I love bootlegs. I just don't own any masterpiece ones. But when we're talking other Transformer bootlegs, I got tons of them. You know what I mean? I got tons of them. It's like I literally have a closet in this room where I store most of my miscellanea Transformer boxes that are worth a lot of money, like like G1 boxes and stuff. And in that same closet is tons of just boxes of like random bootlegs that I had throughout the years that I just don't have space to display. I'm not going to like waste entire displays for like a whole bunch of bootlegs. So I have like one display in the center of my room in a DTOF. That's like my favorite bootlegs. Like, oh, here's like these Angry Birds bootleg Transformers. Here's these like, Clever Evil Dog and Bloodthirsty War Dolphin, like all the wacky ones, you know? But but I do love bootlegs. Just I don't have any masterpiece ones. But thank you for the gold super chat, MMA Panda. Thanks for the love and support. Also hoping for a skids and mud flap. Oh, they'll happen. They'll have. You know what? I swear there were some comments on that video that people were like, "Oh, it won't happen. It won't happen. They'll never do it." Hasbro said they wouldn't do it. I remember Evan saying one day we're gonna get it. Like Evan acknowledged that mud flap and skids exist and said they're gonna do it. So I'm gonna go with Evan. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Black Crow Vengeance, the Rise of Rise. The Revenge of the Fallen Stratosphere would have been a good quality. Would have had a good quality plastic. Yeah, I keep hearing that he has GPS, and that scares me because I love that toy, and it's in robot mode, towering over all my other Revenge of the Fallen toys outside of like leader class stuff. And now I'm scared to touch it because now everyone's like, "Oh, it has GPS. It'll snap at the legs," and I'm like, "Oh no." Bootlegs in the closet. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in the closet. You should see the skeletons. Every single YouTuber who's crossed me, I've killed them. That's how it is, you know. Um, Abraham with the $2 super chat. Proto, do you think we'll get a discount on Nemesis? Oh, for sure. Look, historically, every single Titan class has gone on sale in some shape or form. You know what I think is going to happen with Nemesis? This is just my take. There's going to be this is just my take, and I'm telling you, I'm predicting with the crystal ball already. There's going to be a huge Ollies drop. I just know it. There's going to be something. People are going to go into an Ollies, and there's going to be like rows of them because Nemesis was the new price point. They started obviously with the Metroplex with that new price point. What was it? The $200 Titan, and the Nemesis went up to what, 220? I think it is now, or 210. So I'm pretty sure if the Arc, and I do this because the Arc's up here in my display, if the Arc, the most iconic Transformer ship of all time, at a lower price, went on clearance, went on sale, what's to say the Nemesis didn't also? The only way the Nemesis doesn't go on sale is if Hasbro purposely didn't produce more units, or at least equal units to the Arc. That's the only way. But if they didn't, I'm telling you guys, it's coming. You know, it's like hold, hold, hold. It's on sale. Go, go. It's going. It's happening. It'll be at Ollie's. It'll be at Ross. I'm telling you, there's going to be some guy on Twitter, Instagram. They're going to post it. Oh my God, it's Nemesis, and she's going for $75 or whatever they're going to ask. Because think about it. If it's like $210 MSRP, like 50% of that is still like let's say it's 210. 50% would still be 105. $105, which is crazy when you think about what the first Metroplex was. Geez, the first Metroplex was Aaron. You were there for the Metroplex. What was that, like 110? You know, so I'm waiting for a sale. I think there's a 50% off sale happening. Like Tom Lady said, watch the Discord. If you're part of the Transformer Slag podcast Discord, which is part of Patreon, come join the Patreon. We'll let you know the moment that happens. We'll let you know. We'll let you know. We keep you guys on top of the sales. Let me tell you, we'll keep you in check with that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to happen. Like historically, with the exception of, I think the only Titan class that didn't go on sale was Predaking, if I remember correctly. And when I mean go on sale, I mean like a very public sale. Yeah, maybe like there was a GameStop that probably had a couple Predakings and put them on sale, but I mean a much more public, wide sale. Um, it's something that I could totally see. I could totally see it happening because all the others, just one after another. One after another. It's been one sale after another. Oh, I think every single Titan class that I've gotten in the past like 5 years. No, past 3 years. Because I think I started buying them on sale with Omega Supreme. I didn't get Scorponok. I missed out on that one because of the big V. COVID, I could say it now. I didn't get Scorponok because of that, but all the others on sale in some shape or form. Yeah, Predakin was a weird one, Tom, eh? Like, I saw Predakin like once, never was on sale. Mind you, it's Canada. We're kind of more weird with that, so I'm probably not a good example. But I know in the States, like, just I remember there was no reported sales, and I keep track of that stuff. I always try to have the muscle memory of all the prices and everything, so you could kind of look back when something comes out and go, oh, would this go for this or would that go for that? Abraham, I'm on the Patreon, but no Discord. Abraham, private message me on Patreon, and I'll give you a Discord link, buddy. Send me a message on the Patreon. I'll send you one. Anyone who's on the Patreon, you just message me, and I'll make you a Discord link invite. The only reason why I have to make an invite is because I don't want people who join the Patreon just to like bum rush the Discord and do stuff. I want to be able to like vet that, because you always get weirdos. You always get weirdos that join the Patreon for not so kosher reasons, and you must be like, wait a minute, someone would pay money to join the Patreon to troll? There's crazy people out there, man. There's crazy people, almost as crazy as me, because I'm pretty crazy, but there's crazy people out there. Eyes on the Ace. I'm waiting for that Omega Supreme repaint to go on sale. Oh, that'll happen too. Omega Sentinel, that'll happen. That'll happen. I don't think that thing sold very well. I don't think that thing sold very well at all. No one was ever. I have yet to see one person I know talk about buying it or has photos of it. So like it's something where it's like, and I know a lot of people in the fandom. So I was like, geez, who did buy that? Who did buy that at full price? But yeah, it is what it is. So Metroplex was 125. See, I remember even that first Metroplex, the very first Metroplex, I bought the San Diego Comic-Con version full price. Shout out to Mirai Baby for hooking me up with that one. She went to SDCC and picked it up for me, and then brought it all the way to TFCon Toronto. What a champ. Thank you for that. So hooked her, and then I also gave her a little extra for her time because she's so awesome. Got that one full price. But then when the retail one came out, like just by pure luck, Costco had it. And if you literally go on my Twitter and you do a search for just like do the search on Twitter at Protoman Metroplex, and then scroll through it, you're going to see the day that Costco got Metroplex. I think it was like 75 Canadian. Like, no joke. It was like really cheap. And yeah, I know today he goes for crazy numbers, but back then, you don't know these things. Prince of Phalanx 59 has Omega Sentinel. Here's one person I know that has it. At least one. Tom Laney, now I'd be interested in seeing a Titan sold at best Fortress Maximus. Well, again, the Fort Max thing is like in all the other Titans, there's only so many slots that they could put this big retail item that most retailers, I'm pretty sure, don't even want to bother with. I mean, it's very rare to see a Titan class in Walmart. They're more of a Target item. They were so much more of a Toys R Us item when Toys R Us existed in the States. Still in Canada, but you know what I mean. They're popping up some here and there. They're kind of trying to bring it back. But it's something where, I mean, it's so tough to put that in retail that it's almost destined to go on sale. It's almost destined to, like, does it sell well on Amazon? Does it sell well on the online websites and from Hasbro Pulse? Oh, we got leftover inventory. Send it to the closeout places. You know, get on the phone with Ross. Get on the phone with Ollie's. Hey, Ollie's, we got like 18,000 pallets of Black Zarek that we need to get rid of. So Black Zarek went on sale. Hasbro Pulse exclusive. You know, that was a tough one. That was a really tough one. T-Formers 2000, Metroplex was 25, Devastator through Omega were 150, Scorponok was 170, Cybertron Mexoplex was 200. Pretty sure Nemesis is only 200. Okay, so it's still 200 for Metroplex. So if we get 50% off, give it to me for 100. I'll buy it for 100. I'll buy it for $100. That one I'll be down for. I'll be down for that. Orlando Chavez, speaking of sales, things like Ross and Ollie sales and Walmart 2-packs are great for fans, but are a bad sign for sales, or is that normal? You know what? It's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. The 2-pack thing is something that I'm pretty sure was demanded by Walmart. I think Walmart wanted to have a Black Friday item. They've done that in the past. There was Black Friday exclusive items with Transformers. And I'm pretty sure Walmart was just like, "Hey, Hasbro, we want to do some like a Black Friday item." And they're like, "Okay, we're going to do these 2-packs." Because when you see those 2-pack items, and those things existed for years, there was like 2-packs of not of Energon, but I know Cybertron started doing those where they would take like two figures that they released before and do them in a 2-pack. Those were retail exclusive kind of things. So I'm pretty sure that Walmart 2-pack thing was not because sales were low, but just they wanted to have a discount item that they could sell to to people that are going to come for Black Friday. That's my belief. Because historically in the past, Cybertron did it. I know Animated did it. They also did the 2-packs where you got like an Optimus and a Black Arachnia from Wave 1 or something as a 2-pack. Did they do the others? I'm trying to think if they did it with the movie stuff. I'm trying to remember. But it's happened. Timmy, you fell asleep. It happens, man. It's a Saturday. It's a Saturday. Everyone's tired. I mean, we were all out today doing toy shopping and everything, so I'm sure everyone's a little bushed. Dark of the Moon did it. Well, Dark of the Moon was actually Dark of the Moon did it, and I'm pretty sure it was a retail demand, but I'm also pretty sure Dark of the Moon had very bad sales. Dark of the Moon was like 2007 movie toys sold very well. 2008 was great. 2009 Revenge of the Fallen was selling very well. 2010, oh man, sea of Bumblebee figures. Oh, there's a lot of Bumblebee. Oh, there's a lot of Mudflap. Kind of congested in retail. Dark of the Moon comes out in 2011, and then it's like, ooh, we're feeling it now. And then it was just like there was like, ooh, and then Dark of the Moon toys didn't sell well. There was also the problem was around the time that Dark of the Moon came out, Skylanders was really, really popular, and toys to life was becoming a thing because with Amiibo, and like the retail market shifted to that temporarily. Like it was just like I think like when the Dark of the Moon toys were hitting, because I just remember when they were just starting to hit retail when Toys R Us was still a thing. Um, Skylanders Giants had just come out, and I remember there was like a huge line to go into the Toys R Us for the pre-release of Skylanders Giants because Skylanders was like huge. And I could see like here I am like picking up the Ark and picking up like some of the little figures from Dark of the Moon. And all these people were lined up for Skylanders. And I was like, wow, okay. And I like Skylanders also. I picked up a few of the figures and stuff, but I didn't do it on launch. I was just kind of like, I'll pick it up when I pick it up. And the irony is how cheap those are now. But that's with most video games. Cringe McCringle. Speaking of tired, almost passed out at work today. Worked 60 hours this week at Target. Well, you're probably working the Black Friday shift, I would imagine. Well, it's the holidays, cringe. I can only imagine how bad it is. I can only imagine. You know what? Keep healthy, man. Don't do that to yourself. Go home, relax, get your sleep, eat healthy. Don't have coffee. That's going to give you a crash. Prince and Phalanx 59. What's for dinner, Proto? Went out with my sister and the significant other. We went to obviously the comic store, and then we went to the Asian supermarket. Picked up a whole bunch of a whole bunch of stuff. Siok Fan, which translates to it's Chinese for roasted pork with rice. I guess is roasted barbecue pork with rice. Siok Fan, roasted pork with rice. This white boy is butchering it, and there's probably some Chinese guy yelling at the screen right now. But the point is so I bought that, which is really good, nice clean roasted pork, a little bit of sodium in there, but still good. Have that. I have bought a few little things here and there also to have on the side. Some bok choy, some nice rice. We're gonna have a good dinner tonight, and then we're gonna have a good dinner tomorrow too. We're gonna really knock it out of the park. And on the way home, they did Wendy's did Wendy's Frosties. They did the frosty candy cane flavor one. So my girl was like, I want to try it, so we went to get that too. It's okay. It tastes like it's like vanilla frosty with a hint of peppermint. It was okay. Um Lizards for X. Proto Man has a soothing voice that just does that to a lot of people, like Kelsey Grammer. Hello, bots. I don't think I'm Sideshow Bob. Although maybe, yeah, I kind of have the Kelsey Grammer hair, that's for sure. Oh, baby, the thing, blues a callin', toss salad and scrambled eggs. But Frasier doesn't like dogs. I love dogs. I love Eddie. Aces, eyes on the ace. My Black Friday finds is Amazon 2-pack with Javelin and Cascade. Anyone who hasn't picked up this set, get it. Look at the box. The box is like amazing. Street Fighter 4 homage. 2 female characters that legit I don't think will ever get toys again. Get it. Get it. Goodbye. Goodbye, brother. Very goodbye. Hold on. So Aces also and got the Skylinks on Pulse. Yeah, that was 25% off. That was a cheap Commander Skylinks. Really good price. I saw a lot of people were picking that up too. Tom Laney, you can keep the retail work. Laugh out loud. No patience for people. Tom, I worked at Burger King for 6 years. Before working at Burger King, I believed in humanity. I really did. After working at Burger King, I realized some people are just born dumb. Some people are just crazy. I almost got killed. No joke. Almost got killed over barbecue sauce at Burger King. A customer asked for barbecue sauce. And by the way, I worked drive-through. I didn't even work the front. So I was just kind of working the drive-through, have the headset on. Someone's like, "Excuse me, sir, is there any barbecue sauce?" I'm like, "Sorry, sir, there's no more barbecue sauce." And then he lost it. He lost it. He thought I was lying. He tried to jump the counter. My manager, this big black guy named Lionel, shout out to Lionel. I fucking love that guy. He attacked. It was the madness of working at Burger King. I could tell 100 stories that Burger King would want to shut down. Let's put it that way. There's some. Let's just say, eat at Wendy's, eat at McDonald's. They're way better. Let's put it that way. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't eat at Burger King. Burger King has a cool mascot, though. I like the Burger King, but everything else, I don't know. The Burger King Kids Club were cool too. Those guys are cool. Kid Vid. Tom McNeil, great set. My favorite one out of the pack. Yeah, it's really cool. Love that set. Love that set. That and this one. I haven't opened up this one yet. I keep finding no time to open up this set. I really want to get to these guys. These are like the two. Literally, they're both right here next to me, going like, "Proto Man, when are you gonna open us? When are you gonna open us?" I'm gonna open you up soon. Open you up. Uh, let's see. Hope I didn't miss anything. I worked at here we go. Tom McNeil worked at Kmart when I was here in Canada. No more retail for me. I can imagine it. You know what? I had a friend who worked in retail, and he said the secret is, mind you, he wasn't very nice. Said the secret is just hide the whole. He said it's a big store. You could just get lost in it. He's like he would just hide from people every shift. He'd find a way to hide from customers, hide from everybody. So I don't know. He was smarter than I am. Shout out to Brian. Not going to say his last name, but shout out to Brian. He was smarter than all of us. Cringe McCringle never worked retail again after this job. You know what? I always say everyone should work a shitty job. That way they understand the grind. I always say that, when you've worked a shitty job, it teaches you patience. It teaches you to deal with crazy people. It teaches you that not everyone in the world is well adjusted, and it teaches you to deal with those, unadjusted people. Let's put it that way. It's a good learning lesson. The old saying goes is a muscle doesn't grow unless you put strain on it. And that's the reality. If you put strain on yourself, you grow. That's how life is. If life is too easy, if every job is too easy, then you kind of become jaded and have expectations, you know, that are sometimes higher than you could ever expect. T-Formers 2002 also picked up the dual 2-pack on Amazon. Didn't care much about them, but I figured on sale is better than regretting it later on. Totally. That's how I feel. I feel it's gonna be one of those items. I'm telling you that like 5 years from now is gonna be like $200, and people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, that was on sale. Why didn't I buy it?" And you also got the MP Dark Lyo Convoy. I didn't pick up that one. I would like. I have the regular Lyo Convoy, M Masterpiece, but I don't have the black one. The black one's cool though. It has a cool story with him. Tom McNeil couldn't hide or work at the service desk. Well, you're screwed. If you have to work in customer service, you're pretty much on the front lines of doomed. People coming up, someone coming up to you like an open and an open like Wii, not Wii, an open Nintendo Switch, and going like it doesn't work, and you open it up, it just has a bunch of rocks in there or something. Um, Eyes on the Ace. Yeah, I hid the garden. I hid in the garden center when I worked at Walmart. Only came out for propane calls. Well, there you go. See, Ace knows what's up. He did what Brian did. Prince of Alex 59. I worked at Pizza Hut BK in the Navy. Well, that's a shift. Pizza Hut would seem fine because that's a sit-down restaurant. You could get tips, so that's something that at least if you're a waiter, it's not that tough. I would imagine Pizza Hut, and not to mention I know how, like Pizza Hut, the way they prepare stuff, it's the oven does half of the work, so that's probably fun to work at, especially if you worked at a Pizza Hut in the '90s. That probably would have been really cool. Burger King. I had fun working at Burger King. It's just that sometimes the customers were kind of out of their minds. Granted, I lived and worked in a very sketchy area. For a lack of better words, I worked in the hood. That's probably the best way to say it. What Cote de Neige, you know. Um, it was a little sketch, it was a little sketchy, but it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, it's one of those things you look back at those crazy stories and you could only laugh. Good memories, even though you probably wouldn't want to relive them. Good memories. How much time we got left? Oh man, we only got like 27 minutes left. We got 27 minutes left. I got a whole bunch of text messages. One moment. Got a whole bunch of text messages because everyone is bugging. Everyone is bugging. Um, my sister just messaged me, and she's like, I don't want to show it I don't want to show her phone number. She's like, how do I watch Lady? She wants to watch so when she came with me to the comic store today, she saw the Lady Death comic books because she loved Lady Death as a kid. Imagine my sister, who at the time, this was in the '90s, and Lady Death came out in '95. So my sister was like 12 years old, and she loved Lady Death. And so now she's asking me, how do I watch the Lady Death cartoon on streaming services? If anyone has an idea how a Canadian could watch the Lady Death cartoons on streaming services, put it in the chat. My sister wants to know. She wants to watch it tonight. She went to this comic store and clearly seeing all the toys that she grew up with made her a little nostalgic today. to say the least. I love that store. Shout out to Mark the Comic Hunter. Bro, you're amazing. Love your store, buddy. David Cabal, been working at my home church since 2012. Went from a child's director to bus to now with the teens. Hey man, that's cool. Teaching them all about the retro stuff. You always got to teach them about, to appreciate, less is more. That's the one thing. I think that, in a lot of ways, and everyone says it for their own generation, but talk about being weird being an 80s kid or a 90s kid, because you experienced pulse cell phones, wired cell phones in the pulse cell phones. Geez, already getting brainwashed by modern tech. We experienced, pulse phones, meaning like the dial, you go. We experienced wired dial phones to the wall. We experienced cell phones, the evolution of computers from a giant, like refrigerator sized box to a laptop, all of that within a span of 25 years. Where I think of like my father, who, like, he was a 60s, 50s, and 60s kid. What in technology was so huge from like the 50s and 60s? Like black and white TV to color TV? Leaving the 60s, you were lucky if you had an 8-track player in your car. There wasn't much that happened in that span of time. Then you go into, so right away there in like those 10 years, then you go to the 70s. Okay, vinyl records and 8-track, tape cassette is just coming around, still color TVs. Oh, now we're getting Pong in 78. Like, that was, no offense to anyone who grew up in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, but that was like the dark ages for technology. And then 80s, 90s, 2000s, oh my God, like we went into overdrive. So like to live through that and see that technology shift, going from playing my Atari that were squares on a screen to playing PlayStation with polygons in a span of like less than 15 years, no joke. Like playing my Atari in 1985, and then 15 years later, I'm playing PlayStation 2 in the year 2000. You know, crazy, crazy when you think about it. Crazy. Um, we got a super chat from VCXZ. Worked electronics for years. That's a hype job. I always kind of wanted to work at like a Best Buy or something like that. Most customers are fine, but people didn't know anything about their devices. Well, that's to be a given. Also learned what weed smelled like. Well, again, going into a school in the hood growing up, I learned what weed smelled like very young. Let's put it that way. Going into the locker rooms, you learned what weed smelled like at a very young age. Uh, but you know what? People not knowing how their devices work. I'm a car mechanic, and I always say that everyone uses a toaster in the morning to make their breakfast. No one knows how a toaster works. They don't, like, if you ask them to fix a toaster or understand how a toaster works. Most people don't understand. In the same way that most people get into their car and they drive to work every day, but they have no idea. It's the same thing. Their phones, their computers, their video game consoles, their televisions. I kind of expect them not to know. They just want, it's like they don't care how the water got into this bottle. They just want to use it. There's just some people that the old saying, ignorance is bliss. They want, I always feel, this is just my own hot take. I feel like every person has a different storage capacity in their brain. Like some people have like a 5 gig hard drive in their brain. Some people have like a 2 MB hard drive in their brain. And I feel like some people, they don't want to learn stuff because if they do, they have to overwrite like the name of their wife or how to like use a fork or something, So they don't have a lot of space. So they need to be ignorant because if they are ignorant, I don't know, they wouldn't be able to function. Well, see, here's the thing, Transfer Max. You were born in 72, but by the time you were a kid, it was already the 80s. Like by the time when I mean like my father is hitting his 70s. So like he was like born in the 50s, a kid in the 60s, and still kind of a kid going into a teen into the 70s. When I say if you're like an 80s and 90s kid, you were born in the 70s or you were born in the early 80s. You know? So it's kind of not when you were born, it's what you actually experienced. Like, I love it when someone says, "Oh, I'm a '90s kid." And they're like, "When were you born?" 1999. It's like, you're not a '90s kid. When you were 5, like, it was already 2004, you know? Where are we at here? Proto, do you know Clement J642, another Canadian gamer? The only famous Canadian gamer I know, and he's a personal friend, is Happy Console Gamer. I don't know if you guys know him. He's based out of Vancouver. He's a good buddy of mine. Was a really successful YouTube channel. That's it for like famous Canadian gamers. Oh, and technically another dude from Montreal, but I won't mention him. He gets enough hate in life already. Very cool, and knew him very well too. Black Crow Vengeance #1. So if you don't mind me asking, what sort of paint is used for modern Transformer action figures? That would be a great question for Mark Mayer, because Mark Mayer actually used to do the hand painted prototypes for Transformer toys back in the day. I have no idea, to be honest. That would be a great Aaron Archer question if Aaron knows, but even more so Mark Mayer, who's the current designer at Hasbro. Mark back in the day, like we're talking like during Transformer Prime, even like that far back, he would do all the hand prototypes with paint. And Mark is also a graffiti artist, so he's like the paint guy, even though he's a designer here today. You know, 2002 gang, where you at? Hey man, you know what? The beauty with the Transformer fandom is, when you have something that's over 40 years old, what's coming up on it now, when you have a 40-year-old brand, you have kids that were born in the 70s who grew up on it, kids that were born in the 80s who grew up on it, kids were born in who nine. If you were born in the 70s, you grew up on G1. If you were born in the 80s, you grew up on G1 or G2. If you grew up in the 90s, grew up on Beast Wars, and then that tail end of Beast Machines and going in the robots in the skies. If you grew up in the 2000s, the Armada kids, and so on and so forth with the movie stuff. You know, it's a longevity era. It's like I always compare it to Star Wars, because Star Wars, people don't realize like Star Wars was like late 70s, early 80s. And look at Star Wars. There's kids that bring their dads, and dads that bring their kids to Star Wars movies. Mikey and Louie, sorry we're late. What's for dinner? That's the second person to ask. Just gonna have siok fan. It's Chinese barbecue pork with rice with bok choy tonight. The rice will have a little bit of sodium on it, just to keep it interesting, just a little bit of soy sauce and MSG. Um, and we're gonna have some tea on the side. That will be dinner tonight, and probably tomorrow too. We'll probably have that. How'd the auctions go? Hope the auctions went well. Mikey and Louie. They had a whole bunch of auctions. They sold. Mikey and Louie sold Victory Saber today on eBay, and I wanted to see how much it sells for because they started it at $25. So I wanted to see what it ended at, because that would be the true organic value of what a Victory Saber is today if it was sold in the secondary market brand new. Very fast. That's something I want to know for my own personal. Prince of Phalanx, unfortunately, Disney killed Star Wars. Disney killed everything. I hate Disney. That's all I'm going to say. I just hate Disney. Just gonna say it, hate it. I don't like Disney. Never. I didn't like Disney as a kid. I think like the only things that Disney ever did that I liked Tron, if you want to count that. I liked Aladdin. I liked. Now I'm blanking. I don't know. I guess Lion King was okay. What else was good from Disney? Like I like Hook, but the movie Hook wasn't related to Disney. It was actually separate from the Peter Pan Disney movie. Um, Never been a big Disney guy. Toy Story's good, but that's more Pixar than Disney. Never been a bit Disney dude. That's why I'm a big. I play a lot of TCGs and stuff, and that new TCG Lorcana came out, and I have friends that are playing it, and I'm just going like, no, thank you. If they do a Tron card, I'll buy it. I'll just buy the single. Never thought Disney was cool. And that's always been Disney's problem, is I always felt that Disney never Disney never exuded coolness to young boys, and I think that that was always a hang up that Disney had throughout the years. That's why, they tried to work something out with Ninja Turtles back in the late 80s where they would be at the Disney parks. Didn't work out in the long term. They tried to have Power Rangers. They tried to have, what was another one they tried to get at one point? They tried to have all these different brands because they were just trying to be cool, but they never were cool. Nothing's cool about Disney. Don't like him. Never liked it. What about the Disney afternoon cartoons? Well, Darkwing Duck was a good try, and Gargoyles was really good. But Gargoyles was just Disney looking at what was working for Batman and X-Men at the time. And Gargoyles is really good. Don't get me wrong. But Gargoyles is so not Disney. And trust me, if Disney was cool, they'd bring back Gargoyles. But they won't, because Disney's not cool. Actually, I take it back. I like the Goof Troop movies. The first Goof Troop movie was really good. Yeah, see, there you go, David Cabal. He knows what's up. Power line. Eye to eye, eye to eye. I actually saw the Goof Troop movie in theaters back in the day. Shout out to Timothy, Chris, Hans. Who else was with us? Oh, and Curtis. The four of us. We all went to see it back in the day with Timothy's mom. Went to the Plaza Cote de Neige movie theater. Saw that in theaters. Great movie, great music. Mighty Ducks. Ooh, you're right. I like Mighty Ducks. I like the Mighty Ducks cartoon and the movies. Oh yeah, I actually collect the action figures of that. That's my hockey side of me. Okay, yeah, I like Mighty Ducks though. I take it back. Mighty Ducks also. We are the Mighty Ducks. Transformatics. My wife knows it's podcast night, so she might make a nice light Mexican meal. Toquitos and nachos with salsa and queso cheese. Yo, Transformatics, you're eating better than me, man. That sounds really good. That sounds delicious. That sounds really good. Some good protein in there too. Although the bathroom will regret it later, but still, that sounds delicious. You know what's amazing? There was a luchador themed. Luchador is like Mexican wrestling. There was a luchador themed restaurant in Montreal that had opened up 1 week before COVID hit. And me, the girl, we were all going to go with a whole bunch of people to it. Then COVID hit. We didn't get to go check it out. And Aaron, gummy bears. We are the gummy bears. Get out of here with gummy bears. You know what? You watched that when you were like a teen, Aaron. Gummy bears. Something and something. Yeah, it was Disney. Gummy Bears was, I believe it played on Fox. It didn't play on the Disney Afternoon because the Disney Afternoon was DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, Tailspin. Tailspin wasn't too bad. Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, and then they got rid of DuckTales, and then they brought in uh, Goof Troop, Bonkers, the Aladdin cartoon, the Little Mermaid cartoon, Gargoyles. Can't forget Gargoyles. What am I forgetting? Mighty Ducks. I have memories of all of these because I remember going home on afternoons and it was on TV. But if you were a Canadian, we had YTV. We had the YTV afternoon zone or the zone with PJ Phil. That's where Power Rangers was. That's where Batman was. That's where X-Men was. Channel 22 had G2 Transformers. It had Ronin Warriors. It had what am I forgetting also? It had Vortec. Like there was so much good stuff. Like I wasn't gonna watch Disney Afternoon. But yeah, David Cabal for the $2 super chat. I'm a little worried modern Disney might kill X-Men. You know what? Let's see. We'll hope. I'm not gonna judge something until then, but you know what? Let's just hope it's good. I go into everything hopeful, but let's just say it's not. It hasn't been a good run recently. Ever since like I mean, and I liked Endgame. Endgame was good, but I really think we peaked. I think we kind of peaked at Infinity War, and then it just slowly was going down from there. And here's Endgame. Infinity War was a little bit above Endgame, but then it just slowly went down from there. And I don't think it's been back since. It really hasn't. It's been whatever. I'm just going to just watch them on TV. I'll watch them to when a friend buys a DVD and lends it to me. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? I don't care. It's not going to make a big deal to me. We got a super chat from Joseph Ritter with the $5. Ryder. I keep saying it wrong, eh? Joseph Ryder. That dish is Cantonese, and I should know because I have a lot. I eat a lot of Chinese when I lived in Hong Kong. Yep, Siok Fun is Cantonese, and it's in Montreal. Cantonese is the primary Chinese. There's Cantonese and Mandarin, or as they call it in China, Old Language and New Language. So there's primarily Cantonese people, and that's how you order it. You go Siok Fan, Siok, roasted pork, Fan, rice. Yum. Love it. It's delicious. And my white boy voice is ruining it. Ruin it. David Cabal, 90s Disney over current Disney. 90s anything over current anything. How about that? Forget Disney, just everything. 90s comic books over current comic books. 90s action figures over current action figures. Okay, maybe not that one. Let's not get crazy. There's amazing action figures today, but Guardians 3 I haven't seen yet. Hope it's good. Peaked at Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is like one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. Like that is when a Canadian is going, "Yo man, Captain America." that says how good that movie was. The first Cap movie and Winter Soldier, the second one, are like perfect movies. I love both of them. They're so good. Joseph Ryder, Proto Man, aka the Joke Killer. I didn't even know there was a joke in there. Joseph, you have so much dry humor. Everything goes over my head. If I didn't know any better, I thought you were British. It's very hard to convey it through text. T-Formers 2002. I've skipped most of my current Marvel phase, but I'm so hyped for Guardians. Did not disappoint. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that was good then. Okay, well, I'm going to slowly get to all of them. Trust me, I have a lot of friends that are like, why haven't you seen, Into the Spider-Verse, the second one yet? Why haven't you seen this? Why haven't you seen that? I'm just like, I just don't got time. There's literally 3 new anime. Like, number one, Attack on Titan just ended. There's 3 new animes that I've been super hyped about to come out. Overtake, the Formula One anime. MF Ghost, the race car anime. So I already made 2 car animes back to back. So I've been hyped to watch those. I have new video games I have to play. That all my new games just recently came out. So I have all of those I got to play. How am I going to fit in another 2-hour movie, another like TV series? There's new South Park episodes. Got to like fit those in somehow. Oh, a new South Park special, a new this. How do I fit that in? Because I love South Park. So I want to squeeze in a South Park segment. So it's tough. It's tough. And coming home from work, editing the podcast, the live streams, everything. It's and being a good human being and hanging out with friends and family and everything. It's tough. Doing exercise, eating healthy, to squeeze in Eternals. Really? I'm gonna waste 2 hours of my life. I never saw Eternals, but I'm just gonna say it. Probably won't see it in my life. It's kind of like the Titanic movie. Probably never gonna see it in my life. Just making that call right now. Mark Morales with the $5 super chat. Modern Disney is lazy. They could have been more creative if they didn't spend so much acquiring every giant IP in the entertainment landscape. Again, the fear of losing eyeballs and wanting to build that streaming service. Personally, I always feel that I think that Disney Plus is stupid. I think that it's a waste of money. I understand if there's like one show that you like on Disney Plus and you go, well, I watch Disney Plus for this Star Wars show. Well, why don't you just, sorry, there's something in my eye, get it any way you can. Army matey. What are you doing to yourself? Do you not value your money? You're going to give this big corporation that doesn't even value you, your hard-earned money just because you want to watch the latest installment of Grogu? And don't get me wrong, I like those shows, but Army matey. That's all I'm going to say. Save your money. It's one thing if like you're getting a streaming service and you're really getting like David Cabal with Tubi. Oh my God, Tubi is free. And oh my God, I probably watch Tubi more than any streaming service, and it's free. It's got Tiger Mask. It's got it's got Reboot. It's got all these B movies. It's got like Godzilla movies. It's got classics on there. It's got documentaries, like really good documentaries. Go look at the Dennis Rodman and Pyo Nang documentary. You want to talk about some crazy stuff. I'm not saying people watch One Piece, although One Piece isn't too bad, but that's not what I'm saying though. Proto Man, have you ever watched Cyber Formula GPS or Machine Habayusa? Abraham, Cyber Formula GPX is one of my like top 20 favorite animes of all time. Specifically the OVAs. I love the TV series of Cyber Formula is a slow burn. It's kind of cliche speed racer, but man, when you get to the OVAs and there's like 4 separate OVA series, it is so good. Super hype. Because, it kind of went from like the early 90s until late 90s OVA. And oh my God, the animation's really good. The storytelling's really, mind you, it's OVAs. So OVAs could tell a more compelling story. They have more budget. But I love Cyber Formula. And Machine Habayusa is good too. But Cyber Formula, Super Asarada, Naita Schumaka, all of those characters. Randol, all of them. Love that anime. Love the music. Love everything. Love Cyber Formula. As someone that loves Formula One, that's like for the longest time, that was like our Formula One anime. And there has been other like Formula One animes, but they're so niche that no one knows about them. Like F. That's literally what the anime is called. F. Good luck Googling that one. Exactly. Pluto TV is really good. Tubi is amazing. There's so many amazing streaming services with thousands of amazing shows. And then I find out someone's spending like $20 a month to give to some big corporation that doesn't even care about you. Come on, guys. Love yourself. Love yourself. Don't love the mouse. I don't even have Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I don't have like Disney Plus. Forget that. You know what I mean? Do you want to know how I have all of this? Because I don't waste my money on Netflix and Tubi. Not Tubi, Netflix and Disney Plus. That's an extra $20 to $30 that could go towards a figure every month. Only for them to tell you that they hate you as fans. Screw you. Cringe McCringle. Good night, everyone. See you all next week. Take care, Cringe. Take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. Don't work too hard. Don't work too hard. It's never worth it. Your health is more important, man. Health is way more important. T-Formers 2002, who's been keeping up with Invincible? I want to watch that. That actually interests me. I just don't have the time, but it looks really good. I read some of the comics back in the day, and Scott Pilgrim, that's another one. Read the Scott Pilgrim manga. I actually like the Scott Pilgrim movie, even though it does have its pluses and minuses in terms of it. I want to watch the Scott Pilgrim series. Just don't have time. But the good thing with the Scott Pilgrim series, army matey. All the websites I go to got that covered. So one day I'll be just fine. Tom Laney, thanks, Proto, for all you do as always. Good night. Well, thank you, Tom. Take care. Take care. Take care. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for being a YouTube member. Beautiful green name. Thank you. But yeah, to me, it's something where, you have to, I always feel support the companies that feel like they're giving you something, like legitimately giving you something, because I find that we live in a world today where we have a very abusive relationship when it comes to our hobby, where some companies just, they treat you badly. You know what I mean? They treat you badly. They accuse fans of all these isms, which is just like, go to hell, Like it's just all of that silliness, It's them trying to make excuses for their own failures, and it's just because that's all they got to do, because they got to appease shareholders. And to me, it's just take care of yourself, Take care of yourself. And if they're insulting you, you'd be so surprised if 100,000, or even not even one, if 10,000 angry Disney fans all of a sudden unsubscribe to Disney Plus, that would move the needle. I'm telling you. And the thing is, and I've said this before, it's a proto-manism, as as some of my fans like to call it, but money over morals. Those guys are always money over morals, meaning that they might have a moral high ground in somewhere, but if they lose $5 somewhere, they'll shift. That's always how they are. They try to be your friend, but at the end of the day, it's always been about money. It's always been about money. It's the same thing. Look, even with my sponsors, the only sponsors I mess with are sponsors that I feel it's cool product. I've had established titles. I've had what is City of Tanks? They contacted me. I was like, I don't play mobile city games, and I'm not going to convince people to like go, hey guys, do you be sure to get City of Tanks, this mobile game that even I don't play because I don't really use my cell phone much. Like, I'm not going to do that. Use my promo code and get this skin of Proto Man's face on a tank, you know? I'm only going to mess with dudes that I honestly feel, mesh with my kind of mojo, my kind of like, thing. It's not corporate greed. It's just I feel that they're taking it like they know that now we live in a world today where so many people are just going like, what's the next thing? Tell me where I need to go. Tell me where I need to spend my money. What's the next thing? Like, look, I mess with Hasbro. I work with them, but when they do something that I feel is not cool, look, there's a HasLab item coming up. They're sending me one for free, and I still say when I talk about it that I think it's overpriced. And they're sending me one for free, and I'm still saying it's overpriced publicly. I'm going to be honest, Maybe that's appreciated by them, and that's pretty cool. And again, shout out to BMAC, Mark, Evan, and the crew. Respect to you guys. I respect the love and support you give me and everything. And BMAC, I'm still waiting for my little package in the mail for my little model kit sprue that he sent me, but he's going on vacation soon. Shout out to BMAC if you're in the chat. He's going on vacation soon for after Thanksgiving. He's got to hang out with his newlywed wife. All the love and support to him. T-Formers 2002. Okay, I can't get the proto tank image of my head. Someone's gonna Photoshop that. I don't know what it's called. It was something of tanks. I remember they contacted me like a year ago, and I literally said to them, they're like, "Would you be willing to do this for X amount of numbers?" And they're like, you have to plug it every segment. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pretend to sell something that I'm not interested in. I'm not gonna do that. The Deathsaurus I'm getting. Since Victory Saber, every HasLab item I get sent a sample copy. Excuse me. It's that food's coming up. Spuck Convoy with the last super chat of the day, and then we will be done today. World of Tanks, that's what it was. World of Tanks. That was so weird. There was another one too. There was a battleship one also, unless it was the same thing. Spuck Convoy is asking, where's my legacy Sky Shadow? Unless you mean Black Shadow, because you have Sky Shadow, the Beast Wars character. So do you want the Fusor? Do you have Sky Shadow, the trademark name save of Black Shadow, the Transformers Victory Pretender character of the Space Mafia, or Sky Shadow, the evil repaint of Jetfire from the Armada Unicron trilogy. So which Sky Shadow do you want? Because there's quite, and I know I'm forgetting another Sky Shadow. So there's plenty of Sky Shadows. But anyways, we're done tonight, guys. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for all the super chats. A lot of really good super chats here today and good conversations. I always love these good conversations with you dudes. Once again, if you want to support the podcast and you love what we do here, there's that Patreon link down below. You can come join the Patreon, which then gives you access to our Discord, where we have all the great conversations, all the great chats, all the great cool stuff with all the people there. We share the deals so you could save money on your hobby. You'd be surprised how a little Patreon payment once a month saves you. Maybe it's making you spend more money, actually, now that I think about it. You spend, look, you could join the Patreon for like $5 a month, but it'll save you so much on sales that you're going to be getting. But maybe I'm making you spend more money, so maybe it's a negative. But either way, thank you for all the love and support. Again, the links are down below if you want to. Go check out Aaron Archer's podcast too, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Check him out and all the great stuff. Check out Symbiote Studios. I want to just pull up before we go. Let me just show the Black Friday sale. Again, Symbiote Studios is doing their Black Friday sale, 50% off all the beauties. Use promo code HOLIDAY23. Tell them Proto Man sent you by gunpoint. Check it out, symbiotestudios.com. And Deceits, this is probably going to be their last week, but thank you, And Deceits, for all the love and support. Thank you for having their logo in the back and sending us a chair and also being a sponsor. Thank you for the chair. I will use it as much as I can. That's why I wanted to do something with you guys, because it was something I'd actually use. And again, thank you, Hasbro Pulse, for making the good toys that I do love. Really love this new Hot Shot. It's right on my desk. It's a beauty. Look at those guns. Look at the guns. And again, thank you to all the fans. And like I always say, be good to yourself, be good to your loved ones, be good to your family, be good to your friends. It's an amazing world out there. There's so much cool stuff around us in this world. There's no point wasting it on all the negativity, all the stupidness, and all the down that's going on in the world right now. Go out there from your front door, go talk to your neighbor, and you'll realize it's not as crazy as a world as you think it is when you sit in front of that phone all day and it's just negative, negative. Take care of yourself. I'm out of here. Like I always say, I'm going to go play some Nintendo Switch, hang out with the lovely lady, and enjoy some good food. I love you all. I'm out.